Hello everybody, Andrew here for the Hammer Game channel. Welcome back to the New Order, the Last Days of Europe, and to my purified Aryan Brotherhood playthrough. Last episode, we dealt some good old blows to some nations. Komi, the communists in the north, and Samara all died, and we now have a army that will hopefully be taking down Finland and Onega this episode, as well as gaining even more manpower. So we could go ahead and start it right now, but I am just going to wait a little bit longer just so these guys can catch up. Oh, Wagner actually has another promotion available. Oh no, he doesn't. I just haven't given him a promotion. Idiot. So we're well on our way to uniting. As you can see, Sverdlovsk is very close to uniting this part of Russia. They just have Zlatoust to take care of. We still have the Central Siberian Federation, and Kursk and the Divine Mandate are still fighting for control over in Siberia. So we are almost just 4. Looks like Central Asia is going to be unifying soon as well, this episode maybe, and I'm hoping to get into Urals very, very soon. But, oh yeah, we've got 3 research slots as well, so I am actually going to go ahead and Strategic Theorem can kiss my backside. We're doing combined operations, and I do want to go ahead and actually get the pre-war fighter researched, and let's go ahead and do this. The only thing worse than the Slav is the Slav actively works as a traitor to his own inferior people. Such is the sad reality of General Kirpichnikov, who after his capture by the Finns became a turncoat and established with Finnish oversight the anti-communist volunteer guard. The very fact that the Finns, and by extension Kirpichnikov, were able to do this was because of the weakness of the Soviets during their collapse and the lack of Slavic will to fight back. Now that we have conquered the vast majority of Western Russia, we can finally look into dealing with the anti-communist volunteer guard and their puppet masters to Helsinki. No mercy is to be visited upon slave nor master, a first demonstration to the world that we have begun to have our people attain coveted Aryanism. Right, let's stop exercising. We did not get the forts built, actually, because we don't have any civies building now, which is not ideal. There is a gap there. Is there any chance we can break before the Finns arrive? I'll take some unnecessary casualties to get the upper hand to begin with, because the Finns will be running towards us right now as we speak. So at least if I can find the upper hand and maybe deal some damage. Well, we've absolutely destroyed Onega there. And we're actually taking the fight to the Finns now. Onega has capitulated. There is a lot of Finns just been left to kind of die now. Well, that's nice. Is there a potential to offer peace? Integrate Onega. I'm sure the Finns may come and offer us peace now. We took what we wanted to take. You can bet your ass we're going to try and kill you off, though. Why the hell not? How many men we lost in this? Ah, we can't really tell. We've only lost a K now. Don't worry, that'll be changing in a second. What's the chance of actually pushing forward? Ho Chi Minh has died. Finns have lost 17,000. Hey, hey, hey. How are you doing, boys? 12 to 17 divisions. I'm here to put you down a peg. We will reclaim the part of Russia. Ha ha ha. Okay, that's cool. Finland offers ceasefire. Though our soldiers have not managed to shout the finish lines as we'd hoped, we are still making steady advance into territory. Perhaps fearing that they will not be able to hold us off for much longer, or simply not want to expend the blood and treasure to repel us, the Finns have offered us a truce. They propose to cede Onega to us in exchange for an end to the fighting. Shall we accept the treaty as they have offered us, or shall we reject it and fight for greater gains? We are going to refuse and fight for greater gains, because we have broken through their lines. So why the hell would I not do that? And we have a potential for, you know, more land. More land. That is the way. Oh, West Siberia has united. Oh, we have found ourselves now to bottleneck though. We have killed 51,000 of them. They have 48,000 still there to recruit though. We're 75 days off getting any more manpower, so we need to be a little bit more careful. Still going to continue to push down here because that's still working. How much men have they still got in their army right now? They've got 10 to 16 divisions. Good, okay. If I can actually swing around and cut them off. That'll be a nice wee little group of divisions, so let's try and do that. We have managed to do that. Well, that's entertaining, isn't it? As long as we can hold on to it though. Which we should be able to. Yeah, we're going to be able to. We've pushed back into them. Yeah, goodbye Finland. You can lose those divisions. You've lost 73,000 in this conflict. They're now being reduced to 8 to 10 divisions. I feel like we can just do this. As soon as we get over this river here, they're doomed. Finland, give us back all of our land. You know you want to. We can actually just move you up to there. I don't know why you guys are chilling on a bit that you can't even push. Yeah, that seems to be going pretty good. Probably short of equipment. Probably gonna have to spend some time building back up after this. But you know what? This is for the greater good. Are the Finns ready to accept a new term? Come on, Finland, it's time you just died. Just lie down and take your pounding. Yeah, can you just do me a favour and grab that, please? I don't need all yous on that, though. I'm just gonna get someone to walk to fucking Helsinki now. Well, we have killed double. Oh wait, they've killed of us, so I'm not too disappointed with how this has went. They do have support divisions in their templates like I don't, so. Not managed to encircle in our division. Yeah, we got a decent size on them still. I just wish I had better quality divisions. That's all we're really missing. You can just see them collapsing now. Oh, for lower soldiers are not managed to shatter. They pose. Ha 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 ha. Nope. That's exactly the same. I want even better concessions than that, thank you. You're crippling your nation. Ahaha! We have made a serious gains in our war against the Finns, driving them and their Russian puppets out of Russia proper. With their invasion of Finland itself well underway, perhaps it is now time for us to send the Finns and offer a conditional surrender. It is really simple. They hand over Murmansk, which is filled with Russian speakers, and is our rightful territory. We keep all of Onega, an illegitimate warlord state which will never should have existed in the first place, and we've agreed to create a Karelian autonomy, joint protectorate of both Finland and Russia. West Russia will serve as a buffer state between us and them. No, I'm not having that. I'm having complete and utter control of them. The Finns will die. I'm taking them down. They lay broken and dead, really. Give me the full capitulation of them. I want them as a puppet. Ha ha! Diplomats representing the Finnish government have approached us offering surrender once again. This time they have fully conceded to all of our demands and offering hand over Murmansk and again all the Kaleo west of Viipuri. This will restore the border of its position in 1936 and millions of Russians back into the fold. With rightful territory returned to us and all questions of military supremacy definitely settled by our rout of the Finnish army forces, we have nothing else to gain from the war. It has been a triumphant return of Russian nation to the world stage, with reclamation of valuable region and a decisive victory over a foreign rival to make it all the better. Let us make the peace with the Finns and turn our attention to East Karela. We're just beginning. Soon, all of Russia will be united under our flag. Ah! Show us the peace, baby. Or not. Finland. Take the bloody peace deal. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. The government of the purified Aryan Brotherhood shocked the world by going to war for territory stolen from it by Finland. Now the Northern War has ended, a new upset. The small but modern Finnish army and its Russian auxiliaries in Onega have been utterly routed, leaving the new West Russian power free to dictate terms in peace conference. Many foreign observers doubt the capacity of Russians to push through difficult territory near the Arctic Circle and break the Karelian line of fortification. Despite its lack of modern equipment, the large and experienced army of the purified Aryan Brotherhood has surprised the world by its good performances on the ground. New power in Western Russia is now free to look to the east to further Russian unification, to the west where Germany still holds Moskowin. Anyways, execute the traitors. Russian or Finn, it does not matter. Subhumans are subhuman, those deviants and traitors who would seek to appease and work with such filth must be destroyed. The lands of Onega are filled with examples of such barbarianism. Some aided the Finns' savage attempts to colonize Onega or assisted in fighting against the Brotherhood's reclamation of the region. During the decades of Finnish occupation, others committed such atrocities as race mixing and raising half-breed children. These crimes shall not go unpunished. Each and every criminal and abomination shall be dragged into the streets where their crimes will be exposed to their neighbours. The people of Onega shall be forced to watch as racial justice finally comes to their homes. There can be no mercy shown to such cowardly subhumans. The kind will be erased from Onega, just as they have been all over lands the Brotherhood has liberated. Yes, we have liberated so many lands now. We've got quite a decent bit more factories. Of course, we do need to get support equipment in. Oh, Finland. You suck. Execute the traitors is done. Seize Finnish arms. The half-breed soldiers that fought against us in the Onega demonstrated the cowardly behaviour inherent to tainted and inferior bloodlines. But there is simply no denying the effectiveness of the Finnish supplied weapons they fought with. These weapons designs are clearly only so effective because they are derived from superior arms produced by the Aryans of Germany that Finns could only hope to imitate. There's no plausible explanation for how so barbarous a race could produce such firearms. As Aryans ourselves, it is our responsibility to seek out and confiscate all Finnish weaponry that remains in our reclaimed territory. No rifle or machine gun is effective, as the Finnish examples we have found should be in the hands of anyone but an Aryan, for only an Aryan could have enough skill, discipline, and intelligence to utilize such a weapon properly. Oh, can I just say how beautiful we are looking? Sverdlovsk, however, with Pavel Batov, do have more divisions than us. Oh, can we actually direct our attention to the Urals? Ah, we cannot just yet. That is a shame. We don't have any civvies yet, though, doing anything, which is a bit of a concern. Right. Beside the crooked cross, we're expecting victories and triumphs against our lessers throughout the west of Russia. It's becoming more and more clear that we are beginning to attain the greatness of the Aryan. Despite our struggles and the measures that we had to take to maneuver ourselves into a position that we now, the recent conquests and achievements have attained, have made it clear to all but the most ignorant peasant Slav under our heel, we are true Aryans. If this was not true, then how was our victory over the hordes of Tsarists, collaborators and communists made possible? As true Aryans, we can finally place ourselves behind the hooked cross as equals to German, who, in their infinite wisdom, rampaged through Russia and enlightened our wise few to our calling, true calling. Perfect. And we have court of our land, right to ascension. Manpower has been eaten up into the army. Feel like we may have to spend some time building ourselves up, which I'm fine with, because we are going to have to take them out. They're reaching out into the world stage. Right, what else have we got here? Weekly manpower for 60 days. Ooh, consumer goods minus 10. That might be enough to just actually get some building. A new realm of Aryans. There was a knock at the door. Gudrun Wagner wished to open it. Standing behind the door was a postman holding a large cardboard tube. A delivery for you, mein Führer. Yes, I got it. Now piss off, Wagner snarled as he almost tore the package out of the postman's hands. He slammed the door to his office shut, sealing himself from the outside world. His generals and councillors, with their incessant updates and questions, would have to wait. He'd been patient for weeks, and now his commission was finally here. He removed the cap from the tube and pulled out the rolled up paper it contained. He hurried over to the table and unfurled it to take in its full magnificence. Well, that is beautiful, he muttered under his breath. He was looking down a newly commissioned map of Aryan Brotherhood's realms. The cartographers had delivered a beautiful piece of work. He'd made it clear they would have to. He struggled to believe that the massive territory that stretched from Erzengel to Kazakhstan had started from almost nothing, just a tiny scrap of land around the bombed-out ruins of Perm. Of course, his racist purity had meant this conquest was inevitable, but gazing down at the map, seeing the Brotherhood standing proud next to Germany and her colonies, it made him realise the huge odds he had triumphed against to build a pure nation in such chaotic and pure land. He couldn't help but smile. Somehow he was sure the great Führer was looking down on him with pride. He glanced to the eastern side of the map, past the Urals. There were no nations shown there, just a blank area labelled Die Schalsche Anarchy. There was still work to be done. Russia was not yet cleansed or safe for his people, but the Brotherhood had proven the Aryan race is unstoppable, and it would not rest as long as there was a single subhuman staining the lands of old Russia. And with it, we now have a new tree! And now, this will be interesting. But we do have some stuff to do. For the survival... Okay, reduces the administrative strain on our state. Good. Okay, the Aryan Code. The Aryan race is triumphant. We have annihilated the squabbling warlords that opposed us and reclaimed Western Russia for the master race. Our momentous accomplishments will be recorded in history alongside the triumphs of our German brethren. But despite our victories, all is not well. Our new realm is unstable. We are a tiny minority of Aryans ruling over a huge majority of Slavic Untermensch, who would like nothing more than to overthrow our young nation and do everything we have worked so hard to achieve. We cannot allow Russia to be dragged back into the subhuman nightmare. Not when it is this close to our greatness. Our rule must be secured, and a new order must be brought down upon the East. The first step to achieving this is to impose a new code of laws. The Aryan Code will make it easier to administer the vast territory we control, with the efficiency and ruthlessness that define our race. Up until now, the Brotherhood has been an army on a crusade, running wild and destroying the enemy wherever they were found. While this was perfect for when we were at war, we now find ourselves at peace, at least for that moment. A much more disciplined approach is needed. Now we show the world that not only are the Aryans unstoppable in the battlefield, we are unequaled rulers, truly the rightful masters of the earth. Yes, it's time to build up now. So, Mr. Strain, National Socialism, Security Service, Monolithic Control. Labor for Freedom. Okay. Communist coup in Finland. What? The Republic of Finland. I should have read the event there. I should have read it. My apologies. But now is the time for us to actually start modernizing the army. Is needed. I still have a lot of manpower available. I need to get more manpower. The devil's in the detail. For the last fucking time, I don't give a shit about the hair color. I have dark hair and I'm more Aryan than any of you snakes. But I heard the Germans believe you aren't a real Aryan unless you're blonde. Are you seriously suggesting the Germans are that stupid? Because that's borderline treason if you are. I have half a mind to execute you right now if you don't shut up. This sort of argument has become common among the Brotherhood's leadership in recent days. With Western Russia finally united under Aryan leadership, the time has come to answer several unsettled questions about the Brotherhood's laws. Most important, most decisive of the issues is the official racial policy of the Brotherhood. Behind the simple goal of establishing Aryan supremacy lurks a complex web of intricacies that have divided the Brotherhood into competing factions. It seems every officer has their own answer for how the Brotherhood should formally define and divide the races. Any plan other than their own is betrayal or Aryanism and a Slavic plot. Screaming matches and even brawls have occurred over everything from the legal status of half-Aryans to the different shapes of Untermensch's skull. Fuhrer Wagner has become increasingly agitated as he watched his infighting bring the Brotherhood to a grinding halt. To finally resolve the issue, he's announced he will form a council that will formally define the racial castes of Russia. Fuhrer will head this council himself, but will include several other important figures in the Brotherhood, most notably Siegfried Schulz. Schulz has become the leader of a faction advocating for an expanded definition of Aryanism that he claims would act as a safeguard against instability and provide a necessary boost to Brotherhood membership. Fuhrer is personally repulsed by his ideas, but his supporters are too significant to ignore any longer. When the council assembles in a few weeks' time, every faction will have a chance to make their case. Outline the castes. One of the most important matters the Aryan Code must settle is the issue of racial castes. It is a core tenet of the Brotherhood that the Aryans is superior to the Untermensch, but beyond that, the matter of racial hierarchies has been left up to interpretation. Some members treat all who are not full-blooded Aryans and Brotherhood members as equally vile and subhuman. Others have taken a more nuanced approach and created their own systems of ranking bloodlines from true Aryans all the way down to inhuman mongrels, with any number of steps in between. We must clarify the Brotherhood's policy on the issue if we want to secure Aryan dominance of the Russia and maintain the purity of our blood. A system of categorizing races based upon ancestry, physical and mental fortitude, and physical characteristics will be created to define the racial castes. The creation of this system will not be without difficulty. Already there are clashes between the Aryan hardliners who argue for strict definition of Aryanism and the racial saviors who are pushing us for a more inclusive policy towards worthy subhumans. We must put an end to the squabbling. Reduces the administrative strain on our nation and a rational debate. I have to say, we do look beautiful now. I'm really happy with our borders. Allied speeches. Infrastructure and resources. Puts us. Saying that, we do have some money in the bank. We do have some invest in construction. Let's import some heavy machinery. We do want an academic base. We could do with that increasing. We've got wars in the Urals. Right, they can start exerting their influence over Urals there. We're quite far away from being able to do that. Okay. And lastly, I don't know if you and your thugs are Slavs, traitors, or just cowards, Wagner wrote the man across the table, but I know you are weaklings and you want to see the Aryan race weaken with you. Schultz stared back at him. He had hardly spoken all night, but somehow the silence was louder than all the furious shouting. Wagner paused, his tirade to catch his breath, and Schultz seized the opportunity. My Führer, I am no coward, I am a proud servant of the Brotherhood, but before all else I serve the Aryan race, and the Brotherhood is failing them. Right now, there are millions of Aryans in Russia who would make exemplary members of the Brotherhood, but they are enslaved. You have labelled them Untermensch because they failed to meet some arbitrary standards you set years ago. It shows strength and wisdom to admit you are mistaken, and yet you refuse to. If there is a coward in the room, it is you. For the first time that evening, Wagner was speechless. He had entered the room confident of his victory, and expected the council to be a mere formality, a chance to berate his advisors for their squabbling before they all fell in line. Instead, he had to watch the tide turn against them. The more Schultz spoke, the more the men seated at the table seemed intrigued by his promises of an Aryan majority within a generation and an end to the slave unrest. Even some of Wagner's closest allies were struggling to hide the doubt on their faces. And now this upstart had the balls to call his own Führer a coward. Wagner could see that he still held some support in the room. If he acted now before Schultz could tip the scales any further, he might still prevail. I'd recommend you be more careful who you call a coward, he said. I don't care how many of the boys like you, I won't tolerate another slip-up. He turned to address the rest of the councillors. Now I say we settle this the only way that seems fair, a vote. Okay, so I know you can end up going two ways. Schultz ends up taking over and you can stick with Wagner. They're the two choices. So I think all these decisions are going to matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a save and then we're going to play through, get one of them, and then we'll play through. If there's loads of differences, then we'll play through and we'll get the other one as well. And then that's when we will start the divergence in the series. We'll have the two routes that will go down. So today we'll go ahead and click on the Wagner and the Hardliners win. Only the best are Aryan, which I think will probably lock some things maybe. Anyways, for the purity of the race, Führer Wagner has outlined two goals to the Brotherhood in this time of national reclamation: defend the Aryan race's purity and guarantee the survival of the Aryan bloodline. As we build a new nation for the master race in the fertile lands of Russia, we must not forget why we are undertaking this mission. The Aryans are the chosen people, the rightful masters of humanity. While we consolidate our rule, we shall remind the members of the Brotherhood that their duties are not over simply because we are not at war for the moment. Any savage can conquer our wilderness, but only an Untermensch can civilize it. The Brotherhood will task its soldiers with this civilizing mission, will order them to purify the lands they have subjugated, make them safe and productive, introducing the spirit of racial pride to the Aryans that we have liberated. The Brotherhood cannot afford to delay on this issue. While none dare oppose our dominance of Western Russia, our race's sanctity is still at risk. Only when we have achieved total control over our territory, transforming it from a war-torn wasteland into a productive, prosperous, and unified state, will the Aryan people be secure. Yeah. Oh, what am I doing building the forts? Bin them. Can't wait until we got more civvies building, because honestly, we need more. Because your factories, 27 and 30. Saying that, we're pretty equal. I've actually got more than you. I think the Divine Mandate's actually losing. So we're actually going to have authoritarian socialists, authoritarian democracy, another authoritarian democracy, then National Socialism. Although our pie is a very mixed pie. What is... Where are you up to? You're working down there. Grenadiers. Okay. Okay. Cool. Oh, you have started. Zero plan. But shouldn't you be like tanning through that before you have an economic collapse? Holy balls! We have pre-war fighters. Let's get the early fighter now. It's a bloody miracle. Right. The spirit, sorry. In our reclamation of Russia, we have liberated many Aryans who have been enduring the tyranny and oppression of the Slavic warlords that they have lived under. One might assume our brothers and sisters would welcome us with open arms as we ended their enslavement and raised them to the positions befitting their racial status. Instead, they have been hesitant to embrace the Brotherhood and abandon their old lives. Across our realm, tens of thousands of pure Aryans are victims of brainwashing by their subhuman neighbours, tricked into believing that they are no better than anyone else. We must make every effort to break this delusion and bring all members of the master race into the Brotherhood. Our government will launch campaigns to educate Aryans on their own superiority and the dangers of fraternising with other races. We will place members of the master race in charge of their old communities, their former neighbours becoming their slaves as the natural divide between the castes is restored. Brotherhood chapters will organise festivals across the nation, celebrating Aryan history and heritage, formally inducting eligible locals into the Brotherhood. A sense of national and racial pride shall emerge all across our new nation, overshadowing any identity of the past. Okay. I think what we should do is improve the worker training. And we should also go ahead and invest in whichever increases our academic base. Academic base, where is it? Weekly manpower would be nice, we'll do that. Higher foreign instructors, I feel like that is one that will increase our... No, army professionalism, agriculture, poverty rate, academic base, there we go. So we have spent some money, but that is fine. I feel like it's going to be for the better good. Because I need to get these on an upward trend, really. We need to start... Because basic mechanization is absolutely pathetic. At least we have power tools. Brotherhood needs blood. We need blood, do we? I thought it was going to let us do the ascension again. Right, let's do the blood. Then we'll call it. Actually, do you know what, guys? We should probably end that episode there. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And next episode, we'll continue to work on this tree. I'm very interested to see what happens with the Clash of the Gods. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I shall be back very soon for another episode. Until then, take care. Goodbye. Then now.